Alright, so I'm going to be showing you guys my top 4 favorite Linkin Park albums. Now, obviously this list will be different, might be different from yours. Might be a few surprises here for a lot of you Linkin Park fans, but let me know in the comments what your favorite Linkin Park albums are, and because I'd like to know too, to connect with other fans. Now, the hardest part of this list was to pick my 4th favorite. My top 3 were pretty easy to just, they were pretty set in stone right now. The 4th one was probably the hardest one to pick. But without further ado, let's get this going. And kind of a new series here, just top 4s of a lot of different things. I don't know how often I'll do these, but I just kind of felt like sharing this with you guys. So, all right, first album, 4th best album in my opinion is The Hunting Party. This is one of their heaviest albums for sure, and initially the album didn't resonate with me as much as some of the other ones did, but the more I listened to it, the more I got into it, and actually has one of my favorite Linkin Park songs, which is Until It's Gone, which is my favorite song off the record. And it's just a really, really good. Final Masquerade's a great song. Wastelands is a great song. Of course, Guilty all the same. So a lot of good tracks on there. Pretty heavy, but definitely deserves being 4th on my list. Now, third favorite Linkin Park album is one I have a lot of memories listening to with my friends, and that's Meteora right here. So Meteora, a lot of you probably regard this as your favorite Linkin Park album, and for a while it was, but it's not anymore, and it's still such a really good record. Favorite from the album, probably Somewhere I Belong, just because when that song came out, obviously I was young, but I really loved that song, and I would just keep listening to it over and over and over again. So the rest of the album's really good too. Like Easier to Run is a great track. Lying From You, of course, Breaking the Habit. There's a lot of good tracks on here. A lot of good raps from Shinoda. A lot of great sampling from Mr. Han, and a lot of great vocals from Chester, of course. Speaking of Chester's vocals in Until It's Gone on this record, is actually really good. So part of the reason why I like it so much. So Meteora is 3rd. So what's 2nd? Well, this one is a bit of a surprise to me, because and it's One More Light. And I could use one more light in my room here so you guys could see, everything better, but it is what it is. Now, this album, like some of you, I was a little skeptical when it was coming out. Like, okay, it sounds like they're going to change up their sound. Is it going to work for them? But when I bought the album the day it came out, I went into the record store and got it, and I put it in my car and started listening to it. And I was like, I dig this. I dig this a lot. This is different, but this is good. And the more I listened to this album, the more I loved it. And it just really fit my mood at the time. And there were just so many tracks. Obviously, Talking to Myself stood out to me right away because I had the nice guitar in it, and it sounded more like some of their older stuff than the rest of the record. But it's a pop album, there's no doubt about it. It's pop music, and boy did they pull it off so well. It was a big transition for them, and I think at the time a lot of Linkin Park fans were like, what the heck's going on? But me, I was like, this is great. This is really good. It was a style that other people were trying to do but weren't really pulling off that well. Linkin Park just decided they're going to do this, and they nailed it. Like Shinoda, a big part of that too. And Chester's vocals on this record are really good. Favorite song on the album is Invisible, track 5, 6. Which track is it? It's one of those. It's 5. Okay, yeah. I really like that song. But again, this whole album's amazing from start to finish. Even the last song, Sharp Edges, is so different from Linkin Park. Like, if you listen to old Linkin Park and then you listen to like this album, you would think it's a completely different group. Again, that's why I love this record. I still listen to it. I've been listening to it a lot lately, actually. And my favorite Linkin Park album, this was a no-brainer for me. This was like, when this album first came out, I knew it was special, and I knew it was going to be my favorite. And it's not Hybrid Theory. A lot of people might say that. Hybrid Theory is not my favorite. It's Living Things. Living Things. I think this is such an underrated Linkin Park album. It's so good, start to finish. The energy of this album captured me right away. The lyrics, the vocals, just everything about this record is so So good. My favorite song being "I'll Be Gone," which again is track 5. I guess I have a thing for some track 5s here. But I mean, "Roads Untraveled," "Skin to Bone," "Castle Glass," "In My Remains," just so many good songs on this record. I featured it in a recommendations video before, but this is definitely my favorite Linkin Park record. And some of you may be surprised that Hybrid Theory did not make my top 4. That's a good album, but for me personally, it's not one of my top 4 for them. In fact, it might not even be top 5. But it's just such a great band. They have other albums to choose from, of course, a couple others. And if you haven't really got into their music yet, well, you really should, because they have a lot of different styles. They rap, they sing, they have some heavy stuff, they got some lighter stuff. Just legends in music, really. So let me know your favorite Linkin Park records, guys, and I'm gonna be really interested to know. And I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Until next time, 0 is the number.